Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you may be. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. It's pretty early here. I'm not sure how early. It's like 7 something a.m. Today I want to do something a little different than what I'm normally doing with a Dollar Tree cross. I want to frame it in, and I just made a video talking about how to cut your paint stir sticks. These are from Walmart, and I cut them at 17 inches, and I was wrong on something I said on the video. So the tape measure here, this end part moves back and forth, and I said, you know, make sure you're going from the end of the tape measure, but I was wrong. If you can see, I don't think you can probably because of my lighting, but it actually cuts off 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch. So it allows for that movement. So when you are, you know, I thought I was going by the end of the actual tape measure and not this thing that moves, but it accounts for that thing. So I was completely wrong on that. But anyways, so I was going to use the paint stir sticks when I realized that they don't match up on my cross. I've got this extra left over, so I found something better. But I hope you enjoy the video. Maybe hit like and subscribe. I really need subscribers. I've only got 16. I check it every day, waiting for 17. But seriously, YouTube says I have to have 1,000 subscribers, and if you watched any of my videos, I'm probably sounding like a broken record. But I would really appreciate it if you would hit like and subscribe. Maybe share if you like the video. Maybe share it. Try to help me get more views. Someday I'm hoping that I break through the low subscriber syndrome that I seem to be going through. But anyways, let's get to what I'm doing here, and thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Okay, so I have a hard time not going out of frame sometimes. I gotta be mindful because my screen is over there, and it's harder for me because it's not right in front of me to keep an eye on it. Well, anyways, I found these bamboo skewers at a flea market, and I had talked in one of my other videos about buying this apron. Should I get these aprons here? They're $3 at the Paw Paw, Michigan Chinese booth. They have so much stuff that's made in China, but anyways, this is what they are. They're bamboo skewers, and when I seen these, there were only 2, or I would have bought them out. But there were only 2, so I actually did buy them out, but there was only 2 of them. So anyways, I figured out that these fit on here perfect. And I'm trying to frame this cross in, is what my ultimate goal here. And this is, I mean, I don't think I could get much better than that. So what I want to do is take my ruler and measure out. This is all I'm going from a picture that I saw, but I think I'm going to measure out 1.5 inches off of the end of the cross. So I'm just trying to frame it in, and then whatever that measurement happens to be is going to be my guide on how much I cut for this one, and this one. So what I want to do first, and I really want to work with wood. I really want to. I'm uncoordinated, we know that. What do I want to say? Untrained. I have no, the only experience I have was I working in a pattern shop. Fiberglass RV, they did front caps, rear caps, towable caps, so forth and so on. Alright, just keep making sure that they're even with our crosshair. Tape these not to the table but to each other so that they don't move. But anyway, excuse me, that is the only experience that I have with wood, working with wood. But I want more experience. This one looks like it's not together with the rest. I want to work with wood. I absolutely adore wooden crafts. Just adore them. Okay, so I could do better. See? You see? Working with wood can be a job. So now, anyway, I've always wanted to work with wood. I want to make a corner shelf. I started a video on it, and I got as far as the part that goes in the corner, and that's it. I don't know where to go from there. I don't know what to do from there, but I want to make it. I don't want to take a bunch of picture frames and, you know, do that. I'm going to do one of those, that side thing that you do. I don't have the pictures for it, for one thing. But I want to do a little bit more. So anyways, I'm thinking about 1.5 inches where I put my tape right on 1.5 inches because I am uncoordinated. So let me see 2 inches here and see if that looks like it's too much. You hit the 2-inch mark here. Not quite sure how to go about this. Set this down here. Pull this down. It's not a square, but should work for me. Nope, it's not working for me. Am I on the wrong side of the ruler? No. Darn it. Alright, here we go. It should be. I don't have to be perfect. I mean, perfect. I'm not one of those people. Maybe to work with what I need to be. So what did I do? See? Oh my goodness, I am something. 2 inches. Geesh. 2 inches. I'm not good with numbers. And I am good with the tape measure, and I'm good with the ruler. But sometimes the numbers get me when you get into those little fractions and whatnot. And if you see on my ruler here, I'm going to be right on that line there. We don't go by the bottom of the ruler, you know, you have to go by that first little line, which they don't look even at all. So Terry, how about if you do this? Oh, my line was really close to that. So I've already checked that one twice. See, maybe this is why I don't have any subscribers. I don't know. People are like, gosh, she's so goofy. Alright, let's try this now. Right down from that, right there. Alright, that looks better. Okay, so now I need to know how much is that, which could have probably helped me out. 4 1/4, just what I had cut those paint stir sticks down, the video that I don't. So this one is lower than that one is. 4 1/4. That's what I had cut because if I cut the ends off of these paint stir sticks at 17, and if you take 17 and divide it by 4, you get 4 1/4. So here we go. 4 1/4. Just remember, measure twice, cut once, and if you're like me, you'll measure 14 times. Make sure that you have the same. You don't have to eyeball it, but make sure your ruler's not crooked. So 4 1/4 here. And always go by the line not the end of the ruler. Okay, so let's see, does it look like it's lined up? Sorry, I'm getting quiet again. It's probably a blessing for you. Probably a big blessing. Okay, so I know now where I need to cut my skewer sticks. They still look uneven to me. They look uneven. I'm not going to cut them until I'm absolutely sure that they are the same. They look like they're the same. 4 1/4. 4 1/4. Alright. Alright, so they're marked. Now, what do I cut them with? I've never tried to cut one of these, so I got these junkety old scissors. Take the tape off. Put it here. So it takes 3, 6. It takes 6 to do 1. Wire cutters, which weren't made for this, but they do okay. Now, once this does go through, it's going to send this thing flying, and it's got a pretty good point on it. My dogs are laying on the floor. So, I need to cut it into a bag. Do I have a bag? Of course I do. And that should keep it from flying anyway. So, put the point in the bag, and then saw away on it. Well, that ain't even the one I was working on. This one. Worked. I did it. It worked. I'm happy. Kind of scary for a moment because I didn't know where it was gonna, or how much pressure it was gonna take. A lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure, let me tell you. Alright, so let me go ahead and stop this video, and that way I can fast forward. Okay, so I have these left over from cutting the 2 pieces. I mean, I got 2 good pieces out of that. So I didn't think about whether they would match up perfectly, you know, on this part of the cross. And they don't, but I don't think it's going to matter so much if I leave a little bit of a gap in between each one. You can barely see it, so I have to figure out how to glue them. It'll have to be with the piece on the back. But I'm just focused on the front part. So, I mean, I could always take, I don't want to put any weird thing in there, so it's stuck the way it is. It's just stuck. That was huge. I pulled out that skewer. That was super sized. But I mean, a skewer would fit in there perfect, but how ugly is that going to be? So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just leave a small gap in between each one there, and you know, snug these up real tight. And I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, is it? But you know, I can only fit 4 in there, and I'm going to cut these down at 4 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to cut the rest of the skewers that I need, and then I have to decide how big of a skewer I want. You know, how big the pieces are on this side of the frame. Okay, so this is kind of what we're looking at. Nothing is measured out here. I know these are, you know, these are all uneven, whatever. I just kind of set them up there to get an idea of, you know, what it's going to look like. So these bamboo skewers are not as high. They're shorter, or whatever you want to call it. Not as thick as the cross. So I think the solution to that will be probably another skewer glued to the back side, and that'll bring that up. Plus also that's what'll give me the adhesion to each other. Excuse me a minute. Okay, so sorry about that. During my phone call, I measured out one side here to set at the bottom, and I just did the same thing. Make sure they're perfectly even. Tape them together, and I ended up going down. I didn't go from the mark, I just went by the whole ruler, and I ended up at shoot, I'm moving it as I go. Let me tape this real quick. I forget my measurement now. Alright, anyway, just make sure that they're all even there. Mine are not. They are not even. Let me get out my square again. My square. Alright. So, I'm running out of room here. These are, of course, they had to be longer. I didn't think about that beforehand. Make sure that they are all together up in the corner of the square. They're all touching. Tape them down really well. So I want to make sure that they're even with this. That's all I need to do, is make sure that the skewers on both sides are the same. Don't have to be a particular number, because I don't remember what that number was, but they have to be the same. So excuse me. So let me put the skewer down here and match it up, which now doesn't look like this one. Looks like it's uneven. So now I shall see if it's uneven or not. Okay, so we're at 7 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. I counted that way wrong. Way wrong. Alright. Let me just get up on here. Go to the end of the skewer and see where we're at on both of these. At the end of the tape measure, I'm not doing where the mark is. So it's right here. And then I'll go here. Measuring is a pain in the butt, but it's a part of woodworking, so I need to get more practice down. Right here. See, and now I look like it's not even again. What the heck am I doing wrong? What the heck am I doing wrong? I marked it in the wrong spot. Terry. And that's what I like about wooden rulers too. You can mark on the ruler. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 is what I want to be at. I think is what that is. Oh my goodness. I'm so confused. Okay, so this is me, everybody. This is me. I get myself confused. This is one I just pulled from there, so I want my skewers to be even. It doesn't have to be a particular number. I just want them to be even. So I'm just taking the skewers that I've already marked and putting them beside and marking them. Now, if it comes out uneven, it's the wood and not me, because I'm up against on the square. I'm using a piece that I've already done as a sample. I'm not going to go by the numbers on the ruler. See, that's perfect. And it's perfect. So I got to quit letting my eyeballs fool me. This is fine here, so match them up, mark them where you're going to cut. Okay, so that's how we do it, I guess. Learning. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to put these up here, and I'm going to put all these up here. I don't have to tape them already. I only taped them to mark them. So I'm just going to put them up here to make sure that that is exactly what I want. So then I have 4-inch pieces up there. So I believe these are the 4-inch pieces here. Yes, they are. These are going to go down here. Now, like I said, I'm going to take probably, now, of course they don't, we already knew, they don't fit exactly. So that's where an extra skewer is going to come in. If I put a skewer up underneath these, like so, it makes it, does it make it the same height? That is the question. There. Yes. So the cross is a double skewer. So when I go to glue these, which I don't have time now, I have a neurology appointment today for basically because my back is so out of whack right now, everything's falling apart on me. I have neuralgia paresthetica in my legs right now. I am very scared that I'm going to be trapped this way forever. My legs feel like, yeah, see, that matches up perfect. But my legs feel like I picture a hot dog on the grill. When it starts to burn and it crackles and it pops, that's the way I picture the burn in my legs, like they're crackling and popping on an open fire. It's really painful, and besides the fact that I'm psychologically, you know, already going through so much with the loss of my 2 boys, and then I have all this physical pain on top, I feel like I'm just going crazy. So I applied for disability after my last I wasn't suicidal. I've had a plan for years, like if I was going to kill myself, this is the way I would do it, but I didn't have that frame of mind. But I have the frame of mind that I don't want to go on living. So it's a very, very hard thing to wake up every day. It's just another day that you have to live without your children. It's a very hurtful thing. It's hard for me to say, well, God has a plan. And I hate it when people tell me that. Everything happens for a reason. What? Why did my sons die? Can you tell me that? You know what I mean? And at first it really hurt my feelings when I would hear people say that. I'm like, how could you tell a grieving mother that God killed her son? Why do you even put God into it? You're telling me that God purposefully took my children away from me because he had a plan. What? So the plan was for me to suffer for the rest of my life? That's the plan? Come on. So I want people to just kind of leave religion out of it because it makes me angry. Not at them. People don't understand. If you've never lost a child, you don't know what it feels like. I can't explain it to you. I know what I felt before I ever lost a child. When I would hear about someone losing a child. I couldn't do it. I couldn't live through that. But you know what? You don't get a choice. You don't get to choose. Hey, take me instead, but it's too late. They're already gone. So now I think, why didn't I go with them? You know, I have other children, and I love my other children dearly. But they don't understand the ache that I feel. It's like a hole in my soul. So anyway, I've got that with all this, you know, neurological pain. My back is just a big wreck. And you'll notice sometimes in my videos you'll see me moving around or flopping forward or whatever. It's because everything I do hurts. And if I sit down, it hurts. If I stand up, it hurts. And sometimes it changes the pain, but the pain is always there. And then, of course, I have this pain in my heart, in my soul, my very, very soul, of losing my children. And okay, so anyways, back to this. Putting a skewer underneath that fit it perfect. And if something to me looks kind of off, I mean, of course, I'm going to cut this down. And then have the 4-inch one sticking out. But I want to make sure that I'm at the right level with everything. With everything that I do. So do I have the same amount here? If I cut these off there to here. But right now the video is going to end. And hopefully I don't end up cutting this part out. Because my original plan for YouTube videos, was to talk about my grief and try to get some of this out, because it's, see, I keep looking over here because that's where my screen is. It's odd. But to get some of this grief out, to be able to talk about it. The people I love tell me that they're there for me, and they are, as far as I know they are. I mean, my husband's always there for me. My husband never interrupts me, never, you know, and all he ever says is, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, honey. And that's what everybody should say. Not, oh, God has a reason, or, you know, that everything happens for a reason, or God has a plan. Those are things that a grieving parent doesn't want to hear. What we want to hear, we don't really want to hear anything. We wish we weren't in this situation, but we are. We're forced, and you know, I've lost friends because of it. People don't want to be around somebody because they don't know how to act around a person who's lost a child. I don't know what I would do to a friend that lost a child before I knew how it felt. I know what I do now. I just hug them and tell them I'm so sorry, and that I'm there for them, which is what a lot of people do to me. But I feel like my loved ones are forced into hearing it, so I don't talk about it. Here we go again. Alright, anyways, I'll be back to the wood, I promise. I just figured out what I'm doing wrong. So, I need to cut 3 of these. I'm just standing here looking while I was on the phone for half hour. I need to take 3 of these and cut them down after, you know, measuring out, figuring out which way, and then only have like 3 of them here, so that it's more, you know, down, down, and then the same thing here. 3 of these shorter, and then, you know, these ones down. I think then that way, yeah, I think that's what I need to do. So hang tight, everyone, if you're still here. I apologize. Okay, so I'm back from my neurology appointment, and I didn't really find anything out. He's sending me for tests because I have a syrinx, a widening of the spinal canal right below my neck. I believe it's in the thoracic part. Thoracic, sorry. Oh my goodness. The T3 through Jurassic. Ah, that's me, the old dinosaur. The thoracic. So it's the T3 through 12. There's a widening, and they call it, it looks like shrinks is what it should say, but it's they call it a syrinx or something. He said he needs to know if it's up near my brainstem. So it's going to be another MRI, or 2 more MRIs. One with contrast, both of them with contrast to my, one will be the neck area, my brain stem area, and the other one will be my chest area because of that, because that's there, and he wants to know what the heck is it, why is it doing that. So just I went down an inch here to cut these down a little bit so I have my like stair steps, just so you know what I'm doing. I think I'm probably going to need a few here to make it the stair step down also, but as for right now, that's what I did on both of these. I just went down 1 inch from here, so I'm not, you know, level with that or anything. If I need to take off more, I can. But so anyway, he wants the contrast dye. One of my chest area, which is the back side, I have severe bulging discs, and I was just approved for disability, by the way, which is a yay thing. They didn't even have me come in for an examination by their doctors. They just went solely by my medical records, so that tells me, you know, it's kind of a bittersweet thing because I'm 55 and it's like the beginning of the end. But I have to look at the bright side of this, that it's, at least I have that security, because I can't work. At least I do have that money coming in. So, and it's not a lot, let me tell you. But anyway, he wants to have the 2 MRIs done, and then he wants to do what they call a long x-ray, which I've never had because I guess I have scoliosis on top of it all. So anyway, that's what happened there. Okay, so I'm going to do the stair steps, which these might end up having to be shortened up a little bit, but as of right now I'm not going to worry about that. They're at 4 inches. These are at 4 3/4. No, these are at 3 3/4. These are at 4 1/4. So anyway, that's what I did. I just marked an inch off to see if that And all I'm doing is going by sight. I have nothing else to go through. I drew a little diagram over here. So I want them to be like stair steps down. So it's going to go down, 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 and then I think another one down. So then it'll be down, down. 3 of these are going to be cut, and then down again. And I'll see what it looks like then. So let me cut these, and then I'll come back. I'm not trying to make this super long video that nobody's ever going to watch, but I do want to talk because it feels good to say stuff. I don't have no one else to talk to sometimes. Okay, so it's morning. I got a nice sleep in. Really not enough, but I woke up with a terrible stomachache. So to make this one right here, I want to do, I don't know, this looks like it's 1.5 inch. So I want to stay slightly above that. So maybe, let's see here, maybe a 2. Let's try 2.5 here. Yeah, I'll measure it out 2.5 inches, and not from there. So I'm going to cut those. I'm going to measure these out at 2.5, then cut them. This video is getting super long, so this one I'm going to do the same thing, cut them down, you know, according to where I think they are, and then of course I'm going to cut these, and then I'll be back. Look guys, this is what I wanted right here. So we go up, and it just starts to stair step down, down, and then of course the bottoms go down. I think this is what I want. So now I have the task of gluing, and like I said before, putting a skewer, so when I glue these together I will use another piece of a skewer. I think popsicle sticks are probably too thin, but yeah, I'm pretty sure these popsicle sticks are really thin, so I'll have to figure it out. But everything fits perfect except for the bottom and the top. We have the tiny little gaps in there, and I'm going to try to fix that with the skewer underneath. Just kind of leave enough of a gap so that it touches the other sticks on the sides. But this was my goal. This is what I was going for, and I'm so excited. Okay, so I got them all glued together, and I'm sure you saw my struggle with this little mamma jamma down here. So I tried leaving little gaps in between, but it was either too much or too little. So I'm just going to have that issue. It's just going to have to be the way it is, because there's really nothing I can do about it. So, but I did want you to notice, though, through that, when I tore this apart, how easy it was to take apart. I don't think that glue is the best glue. I don't know. I don't want to judge it until it sets up completely, but I mean, usually hot glue is instant glue. So anyway, yeah, it doesn't really say. Not recommended to be used for structural bonds, stained wood, or exterior applications. Doesn't really give you much else. So anyway, I have to figure out how I want this. What color do I want to cross in the middle? Do I want to do like a light stain on the outside and have the cross a darker stain, or vice versa? So I have to kind of figure that out like real quick. Well, I'm gonna start off by filling the hole. This, I hope, is made for wood. It doesn't really say. Fills holes and cracks, no tools needed. And then it's got this tiny little instruction here. Alright, so let me figure this out. I'm going to assume that stuff, since it says nail hole patch, that it's for plaster or drywall. And I'm going to use the tried and true stuff from the Dollar Tree here. Just going to patch up this hole, and then after that dries, I'm going to, well, while it's drying, I'm going to try to decide. I should put a piece of tape on the back side to keep it from squishing out. Well, let me let it squish out, because then I can just sand it down and I know both sides of the hole is covered. Alright, let me push from both sides. Push it down in there, and it pops it out the other side, but at least you know. Excuse me, at least you know there's no gaps there in the hole. Alright, balance it on top of the other things there. Okay, so now we wait. Okay, so my glue dried, or my putty dried for about a half an hour, and it's sanded really nice, so just want to make sure, you know, you're flat with your fingers. You'll see a little residue around it, which is alright. So then you need to decide which side of the cross is the good side. And you know, I can still feel this, but I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal. It has kind of a bow in it, so I want to make sure that I take that bow into consideration. Seems to be bowed this way, so if I leave that, let's see, which side would I want to be up? I want my skewers to be level, of course. Now, I've decided just to go ahead and stain the whole thing the same color, the same stain. I have a stain somewhere and I can't find it. I'm going to truck upstairs, you know, before I actually stain it. Truck up there and see if I can find it. It could be on the back porch for all I know. I had it out there. Okay, so just remember then, your cross, your popsicle sticks was made to make your cross more even, flat at the front side. So the back side, you're still going to have a, you know, a difference there. So we need to decide what we're going to use to stick them together. These things are way too big. So since we have so many pieces, it's like a puzzle. We want to make sure whichever end we put up there is flat. I think if we have stragglies or, you know, uneven, we're better off to leave those in the open part, because at least one side of this was put up to the square to, you know, to be level. So now we have the junior popsicle sticks here. It's not going to be pretty on the back side. There's really nothing I can do. I don't want to show glue. You know, I don't want the glue to show through from the outside. So this way, with this, I can cover, you know, 1, 2, and 3, the 3 things there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that, just, you know, to put my puzzle pieces together. And then if this turns out really well, I'm going to make more of them. I'm going to order some bamboo sticks. Try to, you know, match up the size here. So again, we want to make sure that we are down where we need to be and that that surface is flat. I mean, I really, ooh, that glue stinks. My fingers are so dry. If you see me fumbling, it's because my fingers are just so darn dry. Okay, so I'm going to be up here at the top and then go across. So I want to really put a lot of pressure on it because I want this to be even on the other side. So, you know, if you end up with little gaps here and there, they're called character flaws, I believe. It's just called character. So, you know, you can see down here I need to secure that better. And that's fine. That's what I'm, you know, ultimately doing. I left a gap, if you see that. Actually left a gap on both sides. One's just a little more visible than the other. Oh well, there's nothing I can do. So right here is where I need to secure. This way and this way. There we go. So they're not visible on the outside. That glue, like, it's just so different than the regular glue. I'm not convinced that it was worth the extra 27 cents or whatever it was I paid. So anyway, since it said it doesn't work on stained surfaces, you know, obviously I'm waiting to stain it until, alright, so that's some longer. These are all the same. Make sure that they are all the same. They are. So just match it up. If you get a piece that doesn't look like it belongs where it's at, flip it around, flip it to the other side. Whatever you need to do. Whatever you need to do to get it where it's supposed to be. So we want to be in and up. If it helps, put a piece of tape down to hold it. Because that's what I'm sitting here thinking about. Would that be better? But you know, don't get ahead of yourself. Do one side at a time. We don't want to overlap popsicle sticks back here. We want them all to be the same. So I'm going to go ahead and split this one in half, which I think I can do with my old junky scissors here. Yeah. So, you know, this is not going to be pretty on the back side, but it's going to look awfully nice on the front side. So I'm going to do this, and do this, and then do this. Probably a little more glue than I needed, but I didn't. I just wanted to make sure I got it where it was supposed to be. So, and then down here might end up needing something. So, same thing. We're attaching it to, I don't know if you heard that, but this has been happening a lot. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do these and come back. Okay, so this is like a prototype. I like how it turned out, so that means that I can just learn from all the mistakes I made in this video, or this, you know, it was just one big learning curve, like I did with my snowmen that I made, and whatever else I've done, but it's just raw video, so I apologize that it's so long. Anybody that stuck around, bless your gizzard. So I think what I'm going to do, the stain is pretty much dry, so I'm going to tape around the cross and paint it in just burnt umber instead of doing it like a stain. So it'll be it's already darker, you can see the difference. But to cover up that area right there, I'm going to go ahead and paint this. So I'll do it so it'll be in fast motion. Okay, so here's what I ended up with. I think it looks really nice. There's a few things that I'll do different. I did paper the back, so it looks more finished. I'll put one of those little wall hangers on it and hang it up. So let me know what you think. If you made it through this whole video, you are freaking awesome, and I absolutely appreciate you 100%. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.